Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another stream. And it's no secret that NBA 2K, the franchise as a whole, has fallen off a cliff. And it's honestly sad. It's honestly unfortunate. And the reason why we are doing this stream is we are now in the news cycle for the new 2K game, NBA 2K26. News officially drops on July 17th, tomorrow as I'm recording this, but this will be going up on the YouTube archive page on July 17th, the same time as this roadmap reveal. So, first of all, make sure to subscribe, make sure I have the push notifications on because we'll be doing a lot of NBA 2K26 coverage, news, and content as we get closer to the release. Now, I have my thoughts on release. I have my thoughts on having to pre-order a $100 edition version of the game in order to get it a week early, which it's not even a week early. It's when 2K drops. I have my thoughts on it, especially negatively. But the point of this video is for me to give my yearly annual 2K wish list of things I would like done for 2K to be great again. Because once again, 2K has fallen off a cliff. It's unfortunate. And I know what you're thinking. I'm just one person. What are my credentials? I have no idea what I'm talking about. And you're right. I'm just someone on a microphone, on a camera, just talking to my computer screen, to the internet, give my opinions. But the fact of the matter is, I have been around the 2K franchise since 2K11, and I've played every single 2K since 2K13. So 2K13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and now come to 26. So 13 years in a row, I have played 2K year round. Not sure if my credentials need to be validated, but the point of why I brought my credentials up is I have seen the very peaks of 2K, the 14s, 15s, 16s of the world, and I've also seen the very low points of 2K18s of the world. And I think with my wish list, I think this is a solution to get 2K back to the peak, to get 2K back to a point where it's good again. Because the unfortunate reality is kids nowadays, kids' first 2Ks, whether it's like 2K19, 20, 21, they don't know what a good 2K game is. They don't know what it's like for a 2K to make a product where they actually cared about and it was fun to play with year round, which is unfortunate. And once again, that's the point of this wishlist video, is to give my thoughts, my opinions on how I can make 2K great again and to give those kids an opportunity to experience at least what it felt like absolute peak 2K was. So I have a bullet point list of things I want to talk about. And first thing, we're diving in immediately. First thing I want to talk about is the builder. And to me, that's the most important thing to talk about because it's the thing that everyone cares about when the new 2K drops is what's the builder like? What's the format? Is it pie charts? Is it freeform builder? How restrictive? How freeform is it? How does the builder correlate to attributes and badges? It's the number one thing that people care about year round. When it comes to the new 2K release and everything, people want to know everything they can about the builder, and myself included. Like, when I make my first build on 2K every single year, I want to be as informed as possible so I'm making a good decision and I'm not just shelling away money for a build that is completely useless within day one. But here's my problem with the builder and why I brought it up as the first thing. Not only is it the thing that everyone talks about when it comes to 2K, but the reality is, and the reason why I brought up the credentials earlier, is I have seen a wide variety of builders out there in 2Ks. right? For starters, you have the 2K14s, 15s, 16s, 17s out there where it was very simple and I loved it. Absolute peak, in my opinion. In my opinion, could be biased, but in my opinion, that is when the builder player system was at the absolute best, when it was as simple as possible. It was just position, height, weight, wingspan, shoulder width, and that was it. Or at Mats, they added your offensive style, whether you're inside, balanced, or outside. That was it. There was no pie charts. There was no freeform attribute builder where you had to bring, strength up by 2 in order to get your interior defense up to like 78 and then get this badge from bronze to silver. Like all these like complicated calculations, all this stuff and everything, you did not have to do. It was just position, height, weight, wingspan, done. And it was amazing. It was simple. It was amazing because it was impossible to make a bad build. Every single combination you can think of, it was a usable build that you can win with, which was amazing, right? So there's no risk in making a bad build, which is great, which, in my opinion, increased the player base and allowed more people to get into the game and play and have fun with it because they're not just making a build and feeling useless because, oh, the build I made and spent time on, grinding, and spending money on is useless. But the reason I bring that up is the simplified builder where it's just the position, height, wingspan. It's not possible in this day and age of the 2K community. And I realize that. It's not possible because how the 2K community is, in a nutshell, everyone wants to be the best, right? Like no one ever was. Everyone wants to make the absolute best build, like 99 overall, most overpowered demigod build with game-breaking attributes, glitches, animations. And the reality is, a very simplified builder where it's just position, height, weight doesn't do that. Everyone just wants to make the 1000 IQ play build and allows them to like blow up on TikTok. And the reality is the simplified builder just doesn't do that. And the next era of builders out there was the pie charts, which was a thing around for a couple of years, and people grew tired of it. I remember the complaints when the pie charts were out. People hated the pie charts because of how restrictive it was, right? People want to make a 6'8" small forward, point guard, playmaker like a LeBron. Or someone want to make a 7 foot, small forward sharpshooter like KD. Or a 6'11", playmaker finisher like Giannis. But the reality is the pie charts, you had to fit in certain molds and certain categories. So it was not possible to make these superstar builds, and that's why people hate it because it felt too restricted. People want to make superstar builds. They want to make builds off their favorite player. So, as a response, 2K21 forwards, 2K made the build way more freeform and where you can bring up the attributes, height, weight, wingspan, based on what you want to get you that LeBron, KD, superstar type builds. But nowadays, the builder feels too freeform. It feels too accessible. It feels like it's too easy to have demigod builds out there. There is no balance. People prefer the pie chart system now because nowadays it feels like, everyone has this demigod build out there and there's no balance, right? People prefer the pie charts because you fit in a system, you filled a mold, you fit a category, and you won with that. Which, once again, to me, is the 2K community in a nutshell, is people don't know what they want, right? People don't know what they want. 1 year, people complain about pie charts and hate it and feel how it's too restrictive. And then, within a year, people are begging 2K to bring pie charts back because they loved it, when the reality is, people didn't. I remember the complaints when pie charts were a thing, 2K20, 2K21. People did not like the pie chart system. I remember. So, That all being said, I know all this like history lesson and everything, but the reason why I brought up Builder, and the point is for my first thing on my wish list, is pick a side and stick with it. Either have something like freeform attributes like we have now, or have something like the pie chart mold where you bring yourself into a category, you fit yourself in a certain group, a certain mold, and it's more restrictive, and that's how you make the build and everything. But you can't have it both ways. You can't have a builder that is restrictive and balanced, but is also freeform and allows you to make these superstar builds. That's not possible. Either 2K commits to the pie chart system, not specifically pie charts, but it commits to that system where you have to fit in a certain group, in a certain category to be successful, or you are able to make the superstar builds, but you realize if you make the superstar builds, it's freeform and it's not balanced. So 2K, pick a side and stick with it. So that's the first thing I want to talk about the builder is when it comes to the builder, pick a side and stick with it. Either make it restrictive like pie charts and have someone fit in a group, or make it freeform superstar builds and stick with it. Right? Stick to your guns. You can't have a build where it's, balanced and restrictive, but also freeform and superstar and fun. That's not possible. So pick one and stick with it. So that's the first on the wish list. Second thing on the wish list is, this is just me personally, someone who made 4 or 5 different centers, big men throughout the year and everything, and as someone who prioritized having a very, very high pass accuracy, like the build you're seeing right here on archive stream with my interior center, where it's a 99 rebounding and 99 pass accuracy. Have 99 pass accuracy mean something. Now, I will say, admittedly, this was something on my wish list going from 2K24 to 2K25. And is it as bad and as dire, as desperate as I was going into 2K25? No, it's better. It's improved. But it's still not great, right? Because the issue and why it was so dire, at least in my experience, in 2K24 is the Tyrese Halliburton pass style, the best pass style in the game for 2K24 that people fawned and loved over. I actively avoided it. I hated it because my Wilt build from 2K24 with the, once again, very, very high rebound and match style passing, for some reason, I don't know if it was a glitch, but whenever I had the Tyrese Halliburton pass style equipped, I would always, without fail, anytime I got a rebound and I would make a full court overhead, 2-hand overhead pass to a person, the fast break, it would go over their head 9 times out of 10. To the point where it felt useless. I literally avoided putting on the Halliburton pass style because if I put it on, I'm pretty much guaranteeing 5-6 overhead passes that just go over their head, which made no sense because I have a 99 pass accuracy. Why is it going over the head nonstop? So that issue going over their head on a fast break pass does not happen often, which is great. So I'm glad that was toned down. However, not everything is as it seems. Not everything is toned down. Because the issue this year in 2K25 with, the outlet fast break passes is the steals getting batted away. And to me, it's an issue. Day one, it was ridiculous because for some reason, any full court outlet pass you made, for some reason, every single person on the defending team became Odell Beckham Jr. in 2016, where they're able to, one hand grab it like this, behind their body and everything, not even look at the ball, but still steal it while going like this. It got toned down in a day one patch, which is great, but it's still not perfect. It's still, to me, an issue. It's still a negative because the way I view it is this. In order to steal the ball, you have to be facing the direction of the ball. Seems pretty simple, right? Call me a hater, call me an old head, call me an unk, whatever. But in my opinion, in order to steal the ball, your player has to be facing the direction of the ball. I should not have to, face behind me, not even looking at the ball or anything. Hands are up like this, and I'm able to steal the ball with perfect precision accuracy because I have eyes in the back of my head. Like, that should not be happening. If I'm facing away from the ball, it should not be a steal. Not batted away, because how does that make sense? So, have 99 pass accuracy means something. If you're looking for a steal, you have to be facing the direction of the ball in order to bat away or get a steal. So, that's the thing I want to talk about. So, that's the second thing on my wish list is make 99 pass accuracy mean something. And these steals, full court passes where they're not even looking at the ball and are somehow able to steal it, yeah, remove that from the game. Thank you. So, third thing, very similar to passing means something, have shooting mean something. Now, this could get a little bit controversial, because this is something that I have brought up routinely throughout 2K25. And I realize that I may be an outlier. I may be in the minority when it comes to my opinion. What's up, Dakota? I'm not sure when you came on my stream, but sorry if you were here for a while. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, shooting. So, which very conveniently, you're here now when I get into something controversial. Shooting is something that I've talked about year-round in 2K25. And I understand it's controversial. I understand I'm in the minority when it comes to thinking this. But in my opinion, I think shooting should be a complete overhaul, reset. The way shooting has been ever since 2K18 needs to be removed, hard reset, and start from scratch. In my opinion, I think shooting has been bad every year in 2K since 2K18. Right? 2K17 is the last year where I would argue shooting has been good. Because here's my issue. Having a high shooting attribute rating does not mean as much as it should. Right? Like, 2K Labs tested this as well. You would think logically, a 94 three-pointer, a 95 three-pointer, 96 three-pointer, 97 three-pointer, 98 three-pointer, 99 three-pointer. Logically, you would think as the attribute goes higher, the green window opportunity to have success and make the shot should go up, right? 94 is great. 95 is better than 94. 96 is better than 95. 97 is better than 96. 98 is better than 97. 99 is the best and better than the previous ones. That just makes sense logically. But unfortunately, in 2K, that's not how it works. Because that's why you say, when it comes to the meta builds out there, the meta shooting rating, it's always a 92 three-point rating, 93 three-point rating, 94 three-point rating. Because what 2K Lab realized is there is no difference, no bigger green window, no higher success rate from a 94 three-pointer in 2K25 and a 99 three-pointer. So the 5 attributes, and by the way, they're very, very expensive attributes. The 5 attributes that you're putting from 94 to 99 is very expensive, but it doesn't change your success rate, your green window at all. So it's a complete waste. And to me, that's not how it should be at all. I should never hear a thing where a 94 three-point rating is the best shooting rating in the game. It should be a 99 three-point rating, a 99 mid-range should be the best rating in the game. It's that's really expensive. it's very costly to go up from a 60 overall rating to a 99. And I agree. That's the point I'm trying to make. The best attributes, the best ratings, the highest success rates in the game when it comes to any attribute in the game, in the builder. Maybe this is also a footnote when it came to like my builder wish list on point 1. The 99 attribute should be the best by default. There should not be a meta where the best is a 70 or an 80 or an 85 or a 90. That should not be a thing. The thing should be 99 is the best by default in any single category. That's how it should be. If you want to go through the trouble and going through all the attributes and making it as expensive as possible and giving yourself a 99 on something, then you should reap the benefits of the rewards of that versus someone who didn't. Right? Because the reality is, if I make a build with a 99 three-pointer and a 99 mid-range, the build is maxed out, right? And I realize that. The build is maxed out. I should be more effective, and in fact, I should be the most effective shooter in the game, way more effective than someone with a 92, 93, 94 three-point rating. Now, the reason why I say all this, and I feel like people like misconstrued what I say when it comes to, having a 99 three-point rating, highest success rate, highest green window. I feel like people have misconstrued what I say when I say, 99 shooting ratings should mean automatic green windows. You shouldn't have to time it at all, and you should be able to make everything. Full court shot, 99 green. 99 being pushed over by 4 people, green. Which, that's not what I'm saying at all. 99 should not mean you make everything. That's not what I'm saying at all. And I feel like people misconstrue what I'm saying. What I'm saying, though, is 99 should have the biggest green window, the biggest possibility, the biggest chance to make the shot, giving you the highest success rate. But it's still down to the player to make the shot and down to user timing and skill to be able to reap the benefits of the highest rating of the highest green window, right? Very similarly, I guess another example, for instance, at its peak, or I guess in general, but, take a look at Fortnite, for instance. Like, could you win a Fortnite Battle Royale game with all common, all gray weapons, or all green weapons, all uncommon weapons? Yes, you can. And it's more down to skill and everything. And then on the flip side, could you win a Fortnite game with all legendary or all mythic weapons? Yes. And in fact, your chances of success are higher with the legendary mythic weapons than the green and gray weapons. That's just how it is. Right? By default, the legendary mythic weapons are better. They offer more damage, they offer more success in a gunfight than the gray and uncommon weapons. Right? So very similar like Fortnite, I'm not saying just because you have legendary weapons, you're able to make, basically like aimbot and make every single shot and kill every single person in the lobby. It's still down to user timing and skill to reap the benefits of it. And if you're someone who has all legendary weapons, but you're still losing a gunfight with someone who has the lesser tiers than you, then that person's just better. Very similarly, you can have 99 mid-range and 99 three-pointer, but someone with a 94 may be better at user time and skill than you, so their shooting percentages may be higher. But that doesn't mean you don't have the highest chance of winning. Right, but it's still down to your user time and skill and everything. So I hope that Fortnite analogy makes sense of what I'm trying to say and what I have always been saying about the whole shooting misconception of what I've said since the very beginning. Because once again, I feel like people have misconstrued what I say, where it's like, oh, you just want it to be very easy, where it's like have a 99 rating and you're just able to green and automatically make everything, which That's not what I'm saying at all, right? It's still down to user time and skill and everything. What I'm saying is 99 should be the highest success rate in any attribute in the builder. Period. To me, that's how you make a balanced builder. Is the 99 is the best by default. You don't have a meta where the best attribute is an 80, 85. So make the 99 attributes useful and worth it because they're the most expensive for a reason, so make it that way, right? If they're the most expensive attribute and you have to spell out the most attribute caps in order to get to a 99, you should reap the benefits of it. That's how I view it. Next thing on the list. Interior defense fits that. To me, gameplay wise, I feel like it could be argued this may be the biggest gameplay fits, even more than shooting, at least personally for me. But I feel like I'm also biased because I run with big men all year, so I can definitely speak on this from personal experience year round. But the interior defense mechanism, very similar to the shooting, completely outlaw it, get rid of it, and start from scratch. Because it is beyond terrible. And I've said my complaints, very similar to shooting year round, is just like normal basketball, real life basketball. There is no reason why, when it comes to interior defense and interior scoring, there is no reason why someone is just able to stand like arms to their sides and everything, just standing under the basket. That is enough to be a contest. That is enough to make you miss the shot. Is arms to their sides and everything, and they're just standing under the basket. That's it. That's all they're doing. Just standing still. They're not putting their hands up. They're not hitting Y or hitting triangle to go for the block or anything like that. They're not doing anything. They're just simply standing still. And for some reason, that's enough to be considered a contested shot. That's enough to make you miss the shot, which that's not how it should be. The only reason especially a layup, which is the easiest shot in the game because it's the closest, the only reason a shot like that easy should be missed is either blocking or your hands are up, causing them to miss the shot because there was a contest, there was something there. Right? There's no reason why simply standing under the basket is enough for an NBA player to miss a layup because they're contested. That's not how it should be. Right? The only way you should miss the shot is if someone's going for the block or their hands up and are going for a contest. It sounds obvious, it sounds common sense, but unfortunately, in 2K25, it was not common sense, and it was an issue year round, where there was countless times you can clip throughout my stream, throughout my 2K25 career. Countless streams with squad or random rec, and I'm complaining about it. Countless times I am under the basket in the restricted area, and I'm going for the layup, and I missed a shot because the person standing beside me on the other team is just standing still. And for some reason, them just standing in my proximity is enough to be a contest and make me miss the shot. When they did nothing to affect the shot in any way. They didn't go up at the block. They didn't put their hands up to contest, contort my body to make me miss. Nothing. Just simply standing there was enough to make me miss. And that needs to be removed. Next thing on the wish list. More rotations of park throughout the year. So I guess for starters, giving 2K a little bit of praise, being a little bit positive for a second, because I can be positive when it's warranted. Very similar, kind of ironic talking about the old time Flyers, as I'm talking about this point. But bringing the 2K15 parks, Sunset Beach, Rivet City, and Old Town Flyers back for park events throughout the course of the year was great. It was a great idea. But the reality is, it's great in the moment. And what I mean by that, it's something that is great, but it doesn't last that long, right? And I guess what I'm trying to say is it's something that gets old quick, right? Because booting up 2K25 for the first time, I want to see season 1 was at Sunset Beach, and we did multiple streams there. We were very excited to go back to 2K, 15 again, go back to 2K15 parks, very similar to the first time they had, Rivet City, back for like season 2, and then season 3, I want to say, or maybe I'm flipping it, was Old Town, right? But after the first 3 seasons, where you are going back to the old parks and everything, and you're hit with this nostalgia, after that, the gimmick washes away, and it's no longer special because you already were hit with the you already were hit with the member berries. You already were hit with the nostalgia, right? Like, what's so fun about going back to, Sunset Beach or Rivet City when you just went back there, 2 seasons ago, right? The gimmick is gone. The nostalgia is gone. It's no longer special, right? So I would say my thing is have a better rotation, have more parks in rotation, right? Like, for instance, for 2K16, obviously, Rivet City was my affiliation, that won the rival days in 2K16 and everything, and we had the extra park and everything. That, by the way, is used in 2K25. It's a playable park in the 2K25 like 3v3 my team mode. You're telling me that would not be a fun park to go back to in a new season of 2K25? You're crazy, right? Go a step further, right? We had the 2K15 parks brought back and everything. Well, what about the 2K16, Sunset Beach and, Old Town parks? Why not bring those back? Because you brought them back for 2K15. What about 2K16? Because 2K16, I personally loved the Old Town because it had the very night theme carnival Ferris wheel in the background. It was great. It was such a vibe and everything. So make that for, the new park for the end of the season as a reward and everything as an event, right? And then if you're really desperate, and I mean really, really desperate, do something bring back the, 2K20, 2K21 parks, right? Where it was that one center hub and everything, and all the parks were in the middle. Do that for an event. Or 2K21 current gen, where you were on that dock and everything, where it was the Santa Monica Pier. Make that the park for an event. Right? There's so many parks that 2K's done throughout the years that they can do for an event at the end of the season and everything. But the reality is, it was a great idea for them to bring back the 2K15 parks of Sunset Beach, Old Town, and Rivet City. But the reality is, after 3 seasons, the gimmick wears off because we've already seen the 2K15 Sunset Beach. We've already seen the 2K15 Rivet City. Why do I bother going back to 2K15 Sunset Beach when we just did that for Season 1 at the very beginning of the game? Why do I go back for Season 5 or Season 6? Right? The gimmick is over. Right? The nostalgia is over. Give me something new. Right? So there's a few ideas for future parks to add because, once again, 2K is a lot. Add them. Now, This could be controversial, but pretty interesting. And I would say pretty bold if 2K did this. Because this affects their bottom line, their money. And no, I'm not saying the classic wish list where it's like, oh, reduce VC prices, make builds cheaper, because it's 2K, they're a business, they're in a business to make money. That's not going to happen, right? So that's why I did not mention like fits in servers and fits in VC prices for 2K, because that's been on a wish list since as long as I can remember. And once again, 2K's in a business to make money. They're not going to change VC prices because that's how they make their money, right? But this is bold, but affects their money a little bit. And honestly, I would be shocked if they did this. But you know what? Cool teaser at the end as we're wrapping up my wish list and everything. What if they fundamentally changes how skill boosts work? And what I mean by that is instead of using VC to buy jump shot skill boosts or passing skill boosts or dunking skill boosts or rebounding blocks, right? I don't even know if people use those skill boosts personally. I don't know if anyone uses it past the jump shot boost. But instead of using VC to get 10 jump shot boosts, 10 finishing boosts, what if instead they fundamentally change how they're earned? What if instead it's a lot like the badge multipliers, right? You're like, oh, what are the badge multipliers? You know how there's multiple badge multipliers? It was the thing that was brought in 2K23, where it's, badge multiplier in NBA games, badge multiplier in city park games, and then, also in like the rec and then pro-am as well. And it's like, get an A plus teammate grade in, 10 park games. Once you unlock that, then you get, a boost to all of your badge progress. Whenever you played park games. Very similarly, if you, won 10 games in NBA in my career, you got badge progress, right? Anytime you won in a my career game, right? Well, what if they did that similar concept with skill boosts? So, for instance, instead of using VC to get 10 jump shot skill boosts, what if you got the skill boost naturally from playing the game? So, like, for instance, what if it's a thing where it's like in NBA in my career, you have to shoot, 5 to 6 3-pointers to earn a +1 jump shot boost that can be used in future NBA my career games. And then that also gets applied for like, shoot 5, 6 3-pointers in a rec game. And then after that, you're able to get a +1 jump shot boost in your future rec game, right? Reward people for playing a certain way, a certain play style. To me, I don't never see that as a bad thing. Is rewarding people playing the game, especially playing a certain play style. To me, that can never be a negative. And take it from, jump shooting as well, where it's like, let's say it's, as a center, let's say it's rebounding. So it's, let's just say, get 10 to 15 rebounds in a rec game and allow you to get a rebounding boost for your very next game. Right? Very next game of rec, you get a rebounding boost because your previous game you got 10 to 15 rebounds. So Very interesting, right? I don't know if 2K will be bold enough to do that because I think that's crazy because once again, it affects their bottom line, which is their money. And 2K is a money making monetized machine where they will find a way to monetize any feature, anything in the game. And if they haven't already found a way to monetize it, chances are in the next year or two, then that's 2K. They're going to find a way to monetize it. Right? Think about it. As I previously mentioned at the very beginning at the intro of the stream, they are pretty much forcing us to buy the $100 edition of 2K because it gets out a week early. We, as a 2K fan base, cannot wait a week. We cannot stand the idea in waiting a week while the rest of the world is playing the next 2K and everything. We cannot wait a week. So either you wait a week, which is not possible, or you spend the extra money, you spend the $100, and you get it at the same time as everyone else at the end of August. What do you think people are going to do? Right. So, anyway, those are my thoughts on the wish list. Let me know your thoughts, what you agree with, what you disagree with, and anything I did not mention in the wish list. Let me know. I'm very, very curious on that. And at the end of the day, whether you agree with my points or disagree with my points, at the end of the day, I think it goes without being said that we all want the same thing at the end of the day, right? I make these yearly wish lists and put all my thoughts and feedback into why I want 2K to be great again. Because I want 2K to be great. I want a good game again. 2K has fallen off a cliff and they are not good anymore. That's why I make these wish lists, is to put my thoughts together, put my ideas together, and because at the end of the day, you may agree with my points or disagree with my points, but at the end of the day, cannot be denied, we all want the same thing. We all want a fun to play basketball game, not only year round, but is fun to play years later. Like, it's still fun to play 2K11, right? I did play it recently. It's still fun to play that game, and that game came out 14 years ago. It's still fun to play 2K14 and 2K15, right? And those games are a decade old, right? It's still fun to play those games. So, at the end of the day, we all want the same thing at the end of the day. We want 2K to be good again, and we want 2K to be fun again. Those are just my thoughts and how I would make my ideal 2K and how I would make it fun and bring back the vibes of what I remember the golden age of 2K to be.